Dumela, mapara le maparagadi. It is a Thursday, a beautiful Thursday at that. And I'm your host, Lekoko, your sports Fundiz. I'm not rolling solo. Ketsamale, bafundisi baka. The Fundiz, the guys who know what's happening, the guys who know the who's who of football. Bafetu, Lijwa. Yeah, it's been a rather interesting week. We've seen a lot of things happening. We've seen coaches leaving. We've seen the referees complaining. We've seen very interesting topics that have been discussed. But I want to start with you, Lufuno, and let's start what happened with the merry-go-round. We've seen Richards Bay.
Yeah, I mean, the Richards Bay story did not start now. We heard that Coach Rulani was once in Richards Bay, had talks, but he thought that is not the project for him, and then he left. So you could see that Richards Bay, in the back of their mind, they did not think Kanu was their man to go this season with him. Now, when you listen to the chairman and you look at the goals that they put on the contract, around about 48 points. Mm. If you look at the team that finished second, it's about 52. So now it means that they have to be in the Champions League spot. It does not make sense to me, a team that was in relegation.
But Mamposa, these goals that he's mentioning, are these the goals that are coming from the team? Or are these the goals that are coming from the sponsors? Because we saw a statement coming from the sponsor.
No, the Funo is very modest. Immediately after Richards Bay were secure that they're staying in the PSL, the chairman made a statement to say they are keeping Kanu as the coach. So Vilagazi, and he signed a contract. Then, a couple of weeks later, there's a new sponsor says, plus the coach. And then you then come with different contract terms. You then go, there is no explanation that if you didn't believe that was the right contract, why did you offer him? So you've got to look at it and say there's external influence. Maybe we should ask, is this sponsor maybe a sponsor with editorial power on who goes where? Because now you've got what? We are 2 weeks away from the league starting? Most teams are wrapping up their pre-season stuff. So a new coach comes, you don't know the players. Sizobona Pambili. No.
and the merry-go-round didn't end there. The rumor mill is circling around Sikuku.
Hey, man.
Kibala? What went wrong?
No, he's here.
Mutas Kuku ni Babina no. Who do you
Yeah. Look, and at the moment, because there's no official statement on the happenings, and this is the one thing that teams always do. Teams always protect people's dignity and their team. But you would like to know, this guy, I mean, when you listen to Coach Manqaba speak at the MTN 8, he said, we've played against him. He was a tough opposition when he was still overseas. And now we played against him in a friendly. It's going to be a tough game. When you speak into the players around Skukuni, they were saying, we're looking solid. But there's those external factors that are socio factors that are, going, the clash is now forcing the players. There's complaints about the coach, and now management has to now act. And now Skukuni are playing in the MTN 8 after preparing for the. Hey, no, man, but
Mpo, I mean, do management have to act on one side, or they have to look at the whole issue holistically to say what is the problem? Because obviously, when a new coach comes, he comes with his own things, his own way of working, and the way he needs to impact in the team. So, I mean, management surely, now I've listened about the glowing of this guy that has arrived as Kukune, what he's all about, and, the qualifications that he has. He looked solid for me when I looked at his what they spoke about him, But now, would you lose such kind of a coach? Because
but Lufuno, who do the players play for, Cox? They've got to play for the coach, and we know the power that that's why there are terms like change room. Has he lost the change room? Because if you've lost the change room, then who do the players play for? Why do you hear terms like player power? Then it tells you, and that's where the dislodge happens, and management has to act on that.
I used to hear a lot saying when you go to cheaper, you don't have to unpack your bag. But it seems like it's happening with all the teams. Anyway, we'll touch on that later on. We've seen the MTN 8 playing this weekend. We've seen a lot of action. And Orlando Pirates against Supersport in particular. There were very heated debates that we saw from Gavin Hunt. Was he justified to be acting the way he did? I mean, he got a red card.
Yeah, what a game. I think that's what we want to see. The supporters were out. Orlando was full.
You wanted to see the red card.
Oh, well done, Mapagania.
Well done, Mapagania. They went out. But when you go on the field of play, I think you're looking at that Supersport team. I think they surprised me. I didn't think they will come out firing like that. They had to respond to Pirates, which is, for me, was a very more of a stable team, the team that was there. And Supersport, most of the faces there, they were actually playing for Supersport for the first time in a big game like that. And for me, I think the middleman decided the game.
And we'll touch on the middleman. I mean, he's mentioning players from Supersport as a surprise package, Mampos. And how relevant the players at Supersport, we're seeing a lot of familiar faces that are coming from Orlando Pirates. Vincent Pule, but travel at the other side, and you go a season back, Tyson.
Yeah.
Did that have an impact in terms of how they applied themselves in the match?
Look, it's always going to be when you play against your former team, you want to give your best because you go in that extra mile. So Pule, I always say, if you respect us, don't score. Now, if I score, Chief, I'm going to celebrate. Okay, I just say don't celebrate like Adebayo, where you run across across the pitch. But you then say you're seeing the quality of a Pule, you are seeing the quality of a Tyson, you are seeing the impact that they have on the team. But also on the other side, you have players that came from Supersport that understand. Because while yes, it's his second season, you've got as a Alenda's critic there on the other side, who's always going to say, but you then saying the impact. And like Lufuno said, the way that Supersport played, they may not have won the game, but they showed a good shift. Because if you look at the first 20 minutes, Pirates was not comfortable. If you look at the first 15 minutes of the second half, Pirates was not comfortable. But well done, Mr. Tom.
And we'll touch on that, Lufuno.
I think one guy that I have to mention, for Supersport, I think he was excellent. The goalkeeper, Goss, he was excellent for me. For me, he did well.
We'll definitely touch on Goss, and we'll touch on Pirates being comfortable. Bahaitu, do make yourself comfortable. We have to catch a break. We'll on our mate to Obesha.